All right, so how did I go from 0 to 224K a month with Shopify Dropshipping? For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Juan Valdez, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the V-Fam. The V-Fam is a community and a movement of people that want to simply aspire to do a lot more than what society has out for us to do. So to kind of jump right into it, I know in some of my other videos, you guys may have heard me talk about, my story, how I got started in entrepreneurship, things like that, but I never did an exact story on how we went from, from doing 0 to doing 224K a month with Shopify Dropshipping. So, me and my business partner Samir, we were actually doing door-to-door sales. That's the background that we come from. We were doing door-to-door sales specifically in San Diego, and this is actually where the idea of testing out an internet business or just the idea of running an online business kind of sparked for me personally. My business partner Samir had already had some type of background with internet businesses, or he or at least had an understanding of how they worked. I was still brand new to getting into all of this. Mind you, this was only 6 or 7 months ago from right now. So this was around, I first got started learning about it around May, then started really diving more deep into it around, June or so. But I wanted to kind of share with you guys, literally just how we got started, because, believe it or not, for me and my business partner, e-commerce was just simply an experiment. It wasn't any more than that. Me and my business partner Samir, we started hearing about these 17-year-olds that were selling these fidget spinners online, right? You guys all seen the fidget spinners before. So we started hearing about them selling the fidget spinners, not only selling it, but absolutely crushing it with these, like doing 6 figures a month. After seeing that, I'm like, yeah, I could definitely see how these, how these guys were crushing it. I mean, these fidget spinners were all over the place. They were everywhere. And that kind of sparked an interest, like, right? What do these 17-year-olds know that we don't, right? So we figured, if they can do that and they can crush e-commerce selling little things like fidget spinners, we can probably do the same thing. So what I went ahead and did is literally, this is exactly how I went. I went in, I had an e-commerce. I already had some business courses that I had invested in. I'm huge when it comes to business courses. That's where I learned and I have all my, a lot of my knowledge from. So I had an e-commerce course. I went and took that course. Then I started to, pretty much, I literally went and took 2 or 3 days where I would go after long days doing door-to-door sales. For those of you guys that don't know, door-to-door sales is just brutal and ruthless, but I do recommend for anyone just getting started to start off with some kind of sales job, and door-to-door sales is actually a perfect one that you can get started with. So started off with door-to-door sales. What I would do is on the end of my days, I would take some time, 2 or 3 hours to go into a Panera Bread, and I would start literally just digging away on my laptop, learning the things that I was learning from this e-com course. And literally what I was doing is, as I'm learning, I would start to implement it right away. So what I would do is I would have one screen with my the course open, and I'd have another screen simply with my store open, and literally implementing everything that I'm learning. So when it, setting up a store, finding the products, setting up the collections, all that stuff, right? So I was literally doing side by side. So at the end of 3 days, I had a store put together. I went over exactly what kind of store and how I made one of my biggest mistakes in one of my previous videos. You guys can check that out. I put together that store, and then I went to Samir and I told him, like, hey, I know you already have some experience with Facebook ads, right? I put this store together, but I don't know how to run ads. So what we did is, I figured, I'll take care of running the store, finding the products, all that stuff. If you can simply just help me out and, run the ads and take care of that stuff and show me, what you know and some of your experience and, what's kind of worked and what hasn't. So we partnered up. We tried our first store, and again, some of you guys may have heard that our first store completely failed. So if it happens to you guys, don't worry, I've been there. So after that, what we did is we partnered up. We started to, put in more time and efforts to it, right? Just because we kept seeing, not only these 17-year-olds crushing it, but other people crushing it. So we're like, okay, cool. So we went ahead and did the same thing and kept trying different things. So we put together another store, and again, same thing. We spent some hours doing it, found the product, set it up. I did that, and then he was taking care of, launching these different Facebook ad campaigns. So we had a pretty even split where 50-50 of the work was divided. That actually did help us out a lot, to kind of test more, because obviously he was spending his time just doing that, and I was spending my time, simply focusing on, what I had to do, building that store out, finding these products. So it became, it got pretty easy to obviously to do my part. Basically with that, we put together another store. We started testing some products here and there. Nothing really took off at first, so we did, our first few days, we did lose a few $100. I had set aside specifically $2,000, and it was money that I had saved up from doing door-to-door sales. With these $2,000, I just put it aside, and my thought process was, worst case, I just lose $2,000, and it just, obviously I get to, learn some skill sets about e-commerce and dropshipping. Best case, we make an extra $200 to $300. That was my thought process. I wasn't planning on, making whatever we ended up making our second month, 200 grand or anything like that crazy, right? My thought process was, mind you, I didn't even know how internet marketing works, how online businesses work. So my thought process was, best case, we make an extra $500 off this $2,000. That was my best case scenario. I had no idea. So I had the $2,000 set aside. Our first couple of days in advertising, I saw a few $100s go down the drain. I was getting worried. I'm like, I don't know, Samir, bro, we're gonna have to just stop this thing. I don't want to keep losing our money. I stayed faithful. I stayed consistent. I really believed in what we were doing. So after a few negative days where we lost a few $100, at the end of the week, we actually had our first break-even day. So that was when the turning point first started. We got our first break-even day, and then from there, the next day, we were profitable, like our first $50, and then from there, 100, and then we pretty much scaled on, and we were able to quickly scale up to how in our first, I would say in our second real month of e-commerce and dropshipping, we made 224 grand. I can actually post a screenshot here, actually show you guys. Absolutely insane. What was able to happen, simply with experimenting, because again, this all started as an experiment. We were not planning on, like launching a full-time e-commerce business. Obviously, we had no idea how they even worked. When we had our first $1,000 day, I'm like, no way, that's crazy. So then from there, a lot of you guys know when it comes to like Facebook ads and marketing, the way that it works is obviously once you're putting in $100 to your Facebook ads and you're getting a return, a double or 3 times the return, you're seeing that when you put in $100 in your budget, you're now making back 200 to 300. Well, obviously now what you do from there is that you're able to scale your budget, and as you increase your budget, basically the more you make. So now once you see that $100 is going to make you 200 or 300, you simply increase your budget to $200, and now obviously you expect it to make either 300 or 400, and then from there you just consistently scale up. I figured I'd share a little bit of the story with you guys to kind of let you know how it was, how it worked for us. Because we're honestly super grateful that that we've always been able to accomplish those kind of results in that short of a time frame. I know people that we come across all the time that have been spending a year or even more trying to figure out Shopify dropshipping. And honestly, for us, it was a little bit of luck, but more of obviously persistence, patience, and obviously utilizing the right resources, right? So right now, up to date, honestly, there are more resources available for people to get started with e-commerce and dropshipping than we had, right? When I first got started, we didn't have all these different softwares, these different tools. Obviously right now with our P2P accelerator, we obviously teach students or people that are pretty much brand new to the internet and online business world how they can get started, literally from how to start a Shopify store all the way to how to launch your successful Facebook ad. And with them, we actually share these different things like tools that show you what kind of products are already selling really well, pretty much pre-optimized themes that you can take advantage of, how to narrow down your Facebook audiences and more, right? So for anyone that's thinking about, where can they find more e-commerce and dropshipping trainings, we actually do have a P2P accelerator that we put together, me and my business partner, showing the exact strategies we used to go from 0 to 224 grand a month in Shopify dropshipping. I'll actually include a link in the description so you guys can actually check it out and see. We do have multiple, success stories. We have different testimonials of people that are actually getting results from the training. So again, it is up to you. It is just another resource that we figured we put together and kind of have out there. It's fine if you guys obviously don't have too much interest in it, because we are fully focused on our business. We figured we'd find a way to kind of give back and put together somewhat of a training of what strategies we're implementing right now and strategies that you guys can actually take advantage of yourselves. So if you got any value from this video, my story, give me a thumbs up. Also leave me a comment, let me know, give me some feedback on what you think about the results that we were able to generate, and if you're doing it, how it's going for you with e-commerce and dropshipping. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the V fam, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.